The Flow Sports Radio.
Yeah. Oh, man. Hip Hop Sports Radio. And you're listening to The Flow Sports Radio Show. Matthew Shack in the building. Christmas Sports Radio up in this piece, you know what I'm saying? Man, I hope y'all had a happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, you know what I'm saying? Happy Kwanzaa, all that old stuff. You know, everything that you guys wanted to be during this holiday season, man, I hope it was exactly what you wanted it to be, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, we got to get right into it. We ain't got no more time for pleasantries. Let's get down to business up in this piece. Man, we going to get right into this game that just went off tonight. The Dallas Cowboys increased their record once again, 13-2, with a 42-21 win over the Lions. Let me tell you something about this game. All this Tony Romo talk from you Dallas Cowboy fans out there, y'all need to give it a rest, man. Y'all need to give it a rest, man. This is Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott's team. They ain't giving nothing up. You know what I'm saying? It's their squad, and you're going to have to pry it away from their little dead fingers, and they ain't dying no time soon, man. The Dallas Cowboys just ran roughshod over the entire Detroit Lions defense, man. I have been saying for the last few weeks that the Detroit Lions is a little sleeper team that you need to watch out for, but they really got exposed tonight. I thought that Jim Caldwell and the offensive coordinator, whoever that may be, they didn't stick to the game plan because Zach Zenner, the running back that they had for the Lions, he was averaging around 6 yards a carry. He was running roughshod over the entire defense for the Dallas Cowboys. But then what did you do? You went away from the run. And you know what we say here on this Flow Sports Radio Show. The run always sets up the pass. So when you stop running the football and you start trying to make Matthew Stafford, who is a natural gunslinger, who has a gunslinger mentality a la Brett Favre, to start throwing the ball around the yard thinking that he has to make a play every time, you're playing right in the Dallas Cowboys' hands. And that's exactly what happened. But Dallas didn't win the game because of Matthew Stafford's gunslinging mentality. They won the game because it was pure domination. They dominated the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. Dak Prescott proved me and a lot of other people wrong in regards to his arm talent. He definitely was hitting Dez Bryant. Dez Bryant was looking like the old Dez Bryant. He was actually throwing the ball down the field, and I'm starting to believe that Dak Prescott is starting to open up the offense now. They know they're making the playoffs. They know they got that bye week, and now it's time to start opening up the playbook. So Ezekiel Elliott had 80 yards rushing, man. They put him on the bench as they should because this weekend was probably one of the worst weekends of injuries in all the times I've been watching pro football. So the Dallas Cowboys looking like they ain't going nowhere no time soon, and they handle their business. We're going to keep it moving as we move the chains. Next game we're going to talk about is the Sunday night game. The Chiefs increased their record to 11-4, winning 33-10 over the 8-7 defending Super Bowl champion Broncos. And that game was an also a game of domination. The Kansas City Chiefs are not to be played with. They're not to be taken lightly. They're not to be looked at as a team that's just going to show up to the playoffs and not try to do no damage. They are a team that can knock out any team in the AFC in regards to the playoffs, man. Alex Smith does what he always do, the ultimate game manager, do just enough just to get it done. But Travis Kelce, man, the star tight end for Kansas City Chiefs, had 160 yards and had 100 yards in the first quarter in receiving. The Broncos, man, it's a wrap for them. They're just going to have to get ready for next year and figure out what's going on. I think that, I don't know if Trevor Siemian has enough weapons. I think he's a good quarterback, but I expect a trade in the offseason, man. Do not be surprised if you see them making a move for Tony Romo or somebody along those lines. Tony Romo's going to be on the trading block probably by the end of the year, if not sooner than I say training camp or whatnot. Well, we'll soon see. We're going to keep it moving as we move the damn chains. Next game is the Pittsburgh Steelers, man. Y'all came out of the woodwork to come back to try to win this game. They increased their record to 10-5, secure a playoff berth with a 31-27 win over the 8-7 Ravens. That game right there, man, the Ravens made a big mistake. They had the game in the bag, but when you leave 100 minutes on the clock for a two-time Super Bowl champion like Ben Roethlisberger, and with a running game of Le'Veon Bell, who had over 100 yards, and Antonio Brown, which is one of the best receivers in the game and probably one of the most cerebral football players in the league, you're going to lose that game, man. And that's exactly what happened, man. The Ravens just gave it away. But it's good that the Pittsburgh Steelers are in the playoffs, because now all you Pittsburgh Steelers fans that's been jaw-jacking and running your mouths, now we get to see what really happens in the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to see how that all turns out. So that's a good deal. The Ravens, you guys need to retool. You need a running game. I don't know if Steve Smith Sr. is going to retire. I hope he doesn't. He still got a lot of football in his body. But the Ravens need some help offensively. I think their defense is pretty cool. Their cornerbacks, I think Jimmy Smith is still injured. So they got some things to do on their squad, so keep your head up, Ravens fans. But Pittsburgh Steelers fans, now it's time for y'all to do everything y'all claim y'all gonna do in this AFC playoffs. We're gonna keep it moving as we move the chains. We got the Texans. They increased their record to 9-6, and over the Bengals, they win 12-10. You know how I feel about the Texans. It's a boo-boo game, but it looks like the Texans are going to get in these playoffs, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to keep it moving. I ain't going to beat y'all up too much. But you know, usually I tell y'all boo-boo. But at the end of the day, it don't really matter at this point. We'll see what happens. We're going to keep it moving as we move the damn chains. So next game we're going to talk about is the Saints. They win 31-24 to increase their record to 7-8 over the 8-7 Buccaneers. And, the Saints are mathematically, eliminated from the playoffs, man. But, it's good football to watch. I don't know what the hell happened with the Buccaneers, man. Buccaneers, man, you guys was looking very well. A couple weeks ago, you guys had won 5 straight. Now you guys have lost 2 straight. And, Buccaneers, you guys are mathematically out of it, too. It's just kind of disappointing because both of those teams are high octane and I like to watch them, but we ain't going to be watching them after next week. We're going to keep it moving as we move the chains. Next game we're going to talk about is the Falcons. They secure the NFC South with a 10-5 record with a 33-16 win over the 6-9 Panthers. Man, the Panthers have been disappointing all season. You got Cam Newton. He just was not clicking this year. I hope he comes back strong next year, but I think he needs to be more focused on football and stop worrying about whether or not he's going to be in the next cover of GQ magazine with all the crazy fits that he be having on. He needs to be concentrating on that playbook and making some plays. But then again, he needs some playmakers. Matty Ice for the Falcons does what he normally does. He put up some great numbers, and they're making the playoffs, so we're going to see what they do. We're going to keep it moving because that's what we do. The next game is the Dolphins. Behind Matt Moore, they increased their record and make the playoffs with a 10-5 record. They win 34-31 over the 7-8 Buffalo Bills. Jay Ajayi, man, once again, he had over 200 yards rushing. Matt Moore, who is actually playing for the injured Ryan Tannehill, he's playing great. Dolphins can go in there and do little things. They handle their business. They looking pretty decent. Once again, I expect Rex Ryan to have his self on the hot seat, but he'll wind up getting off and go and get him a fried bologna sandwich with his brother Rob, and they'll be straight with some potato chips. So there ain't gonna be no problems with that. Next game, as we move the chains, we got the Redskins increase their record to 8-6, 41-21. 41-21 over the 3-12 Bears. That's a boo-boo game because it's the Redskins, but the Redskins aren't mathematically out of it yet. They're still vying because due to the fact that we got some movement in the NFC, teams like the Lions are still trying to secure. There's a whole lot of jockeying for position, but then positions are starting to get taken up. It is what it is, man. But the Redskins, I always pretty much say they boo-boo, but we're going to see what happens, man, next week. Next week's going to really decide what games is boo-boo, okay, and what games ain't boo-boo. Now, as we move the chains, we got this game right here. This game right here is automatically a boo-boo game, but it ain't a boo-boo game this week. Because you know why? Because the Cleveland Browns with RG3, they finally win their first game of the season after losing 14 straight weeks. They win 20-17 over the 5-10 Chargers. Now, what's funny about this game, man, is that it sounds like the Browns really was handling their business, but they really wasn't handling their business because Phillip Rivers does what he always does. Phillip Rivers threw for like 300. They was really doing their thing, but at the end of the day, man, destiny is destiny, and the missed field goals, man, that messed everything up for the Chargers, man. The Chargers is whack, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of everybody always saying at the beginning of the year, the Chargers going to make some noise. The Chargers are going to make some noise. Man, all the Chargers need to do is be the spoiler. But, man, I got to give it up, man. Hugh Jackson got that win. It is what it is, man. But, bro, that kind of messes things up a little bit, but not a whole lot of it. Because we about to tell you about this next game, okay? This next game solidifies the Browns as having the worst record to get the number one draft pick, because the San Francisco 49ers, they win, increase their record to 2-13. They win 22-21 over the 4-11 Rams. Now that game right there just shows that sometimes teams who beat you, they do you a favor. You know what I'm saying? The Rams got dealt a favor because the only two wins they had received this year, the only two losses that the wins that the 49ers had received have been at the feet of the Rams. So what that does is it puts the 49ers to be in position for the second draft pick in the draft. But what that does with the Rams is that makes sure the Rams is going to have to get a marquee coach to come in, because without a marquee coach, ain't nobody going to go to that new stadium that they built, and ain't nobody going to go to the games. Because here in LA, if you ain't winning and you ain't got no star power, you don't exist. So the 49ers beating up on the Rams just going to make things easier for LA football, because they're going to have to get somebody to cover up the doo-doo. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't going to pick the doo-doo up, you might as well bury it. And that's what they're going to do. We're going to keep it moving as we move the damn chains. Next game we're going to talk about, man, is the 10-5 Giants. They lose 24-19 to the 6-9 Eagles. That is a boo-boo game. But it's not a boo-boo game because Eli almost threw for 400. Your boy Odell Beckham Jr., ODC, had 150 with no touchdowns received. But I think that this is a kind of a game where they kind of said we ain't really tripping. You know what I'm saying? I think that's a lullaby game where it's like, we're not going to really try to do too much because we're going to save all our stuff for the playoffs, and we'll go ahead and let the Eagles win this game. But there ain't nothing really to report as far as the Eagles stats and what they did, because they really didn't do nothing. I just think that they took their foot off the gas, man. I think that McAdoo, for the coach of the Giants, took his foot off the gas on purpose. You know what I'm saying? I think it's time to play a little strategic games. So we're going to keep it moving as we move the chains. The Packers. The Packers are a problem. Understand, Packers are a problem. Discount double check Aaron Rodgers still doing his thug thizzle. They win. They increase their record to 9-6, and they win 38-25, over the 7-8 Vikings. Both of those quarterbacks, man, they both threw. Sam Bradford, he threw for almost 400. Discount double check threw for almost 400. But Discount double check threw for like 4 touchdowns, and Sam Bradford threw for like 3 touchdowns. At least with the Vikings, man, They've only won 2 games since they went 5-0 at the beginning of the season, like I've been saying. But Sam Bradford's looking like he's a quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen when Teddy Bridgewater gets back. I don't know. It's going to be probably an open quarterback competition. But I see Sam Bradford, retaining that quarterback position as a starter. Jordy Nelson woke up. Jordy Nelson, that boy's a problem. You know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. Don't think because the dude is a Caucasian cat and he's playing wide receiver, he can't be covered. Oh, he can't be covered. Straight up. Don't get it twisted. He'll eat your heart out. Straight up. So the Packers are looking like they're going into these playoffs, man. They're gonna go in pretty strong, and we're gonna see what happens, man. There's gonna be a whole lot of good playoff football coming up in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna keep it moving as we move the damn chains. You know how we do it. The next game, I usually say any game that the Jaguars are in is boo-boo. You already know that. You guys been watching the Flow Sports Radio show. There's certain teams that they always get boo-boo game status. But I can't give them boo-boo game status because they win. The Jaguars increase their record to 3-12, and they win 38-17 over the 8-7 Titans. Didn't the Titans just beat Kansas City last week? Well, they got their behinds whooped. Let's keep it plain. You know what I'm saying? They got their ass kicked. And the worst thing about it is Marcus Mariota, man, one of the best young quarterbacks in the NFL. He got his leg broke during that game, and we're going to see a whole lot of injuries that are going to be reported over these next couple of weeks, man. Because now teams are like, hey, if we can't be in the playoffs, we're going to play spoiler, and we're going to make sure you ain't going nowhere. Okay, so that's exactly what happened. Hats off to the Jaguars. You guys played a very good game. You guys got a nice little young team. You guys just got to put your wins together, man. I saw some nice brilliance of flashes of young football play, man. We're gonna see how that all works out, man. We're gonna keep it moving as we move the damn chains. You know what we do. Next game we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about the 9-5 Seattle Seahawks lose to the 6-8-1 Cardinals, 34-31. Okay, now this is another game. The Seahawks have already secured a playoff spot, but they had a bad injury, man, with Tyler Lockett, man. Tyler Lockett, got a broken leg. It's starting to happen. Same situation. I think that the Cardinals, they ain't nothing to talk about the damn Cardinals, man. But I think once again it was another case of a team taking their foot off the gas going into the playoffs, kind of chilling and kind of like, you know what, we need to be playing for the playoffs and not playing for the regular season. And that's a theme that's kind of resonating right now. Russell Wilson, he played all right. Nobody played outstanding, but losing one of your top receivers and Tyler Lockett with a broken leg, that's not a good situation. But as I said before, playoffs are getting ready to happen, so you're going to see a whole lot of teams taking their foot off the gas, and you might even see them just putting their starters on the bench altogether. You know what I'm saying? We'll see what happens. Next game we want to talk about, man. Man. My Oakland Raiders, man. Oakland Raiders, man, we increase our record to 12-3 with a 33-25 win over the 7-8 Colts. And Derek Carr, man, was playing his ass off. He had 3 touchdown passes. We was running roughshod over them cats, man. Andrew Luck wasn't doing nothing, man. Derek Carr, his jersey was clean all game. And like I've always said, football and any other sport, injuries are a part of the game. He winds up getting sacked the only time of the game and winds up breaking his fibula, man. Broken leg. That's 3 broken legs in one game. Out with a broken leg for the rest of the season. And it's looking very bleak in regards to the quarterback play as far as us having an MVP quarterback at the helm of the offense. But as everybody always knows, if you are understanding of a football acumen, it's next man up. We got Matt McGloin. Matt McGloin came in there in relief, and they threw a couple of key third down receptions to Amari Cooper and others to solidify the game because Andrew Luck and them started making a major comeback, and we went ahead and won that game. Now, I I want to address this real quick in regards to Raider fans. I've been hearing rumblings like, well, why was Derek Carr in that game? Why was he passing? Why did we go against the run? Why? Very simple, man. First of all, the play when Derek Carr got hurt was a 2nd and 18. Is that a running down? No, that's a passing down. So that's what we've been doing all year. If it's 2nd and 18, you're throwing the ball. There was no reason for us to take the foot off the gas. It wasn't like we was winning by 30, And as you can see, look how quick teams are coming back on us. That shows a lack of belief in the defense. The defense is the reason why we didn't take Derek Carr out, and that's why we were throwing the ball. And another reason, why were we 2nd and 18 in the first place? Because of pre-snap penalties, man. Holding calls. Every other play that you can do before the damn ball is snapped. You know what I'm saying? So that's why. We were already in the hole. It wasn't like Derek Carr was losing yardage. So it is what it is. But we're not going to quit. We made the playoffs. We're going to play the games and we'll see how it all turns out. What else we got? I know that ain't all the games. Can't be. And that's it. Flow Sports Radio Show. Okay. Understand. These games mean something. Guard your grill. Guard your grill at all times. Take your quarterbacks out. Take your starting wide receivers out if you're making the playoffs. Man, you got to kick it. If you don't, you're going to be like us. On the side, trying to figure out what we're going to do going in the playoffs. But we still in the playoffs. But until then, game on. Game on.